So one of the more popular stocks in my current portfolio, and yes, full disclosure, I currently own this stock, is Rolls-Royce. No, not the car company, the aerospace and defense mega giant that is situated in the UK, but you can also buy this as an OTC in the US. Now, about 5 months ago, I put out a video on Rolls-Royce saying why I am very bullish on the ticker. But was I right? Was I wrong? And more importantly, am I still bullish on this ticker? Because a lot has changed and the company looks to be heading downwards. But is Rolls-Royce a good buy now, or should you sell everything and YOLO into AMC with as much leverage as possible? Well, the only real way to find out is to take off all your clothes, leave on your socks because, well, everybody loves a naked person in socks. Lube yourself up to the eyelids because we are about to give Rolls-Royce another STI. Now, Rolls-Royce is mainly listed on the London Stock Exchange, the LSE, and if you want to buy that ticker in pounds, in Great British pounds, you can buy it with ticker symbol rr.l. But if you want to buy it in dollars, you can actually buy it as an OTC in the US as well under ticker symbol RYCEY. So you can actually play the currencies. If you think the pound's going to be cheaper, wink, wink, hint, hint, I do, then it might be worth converting that US dollars to pounds and maybe you will win twice. But of course, that is not financial advice. I am just a bloke with a beard, really thinking and pondering lately, did Rick Ashley ever give her up or let her down? A like is always appreciated, and if you want to get chat room access for life, sign up via eToro on the pinned comment, deposit, make a trade, and you get lifetime access to the LWT chat room just for signing up with eToro and making a trade. Now, Rolls-Royce has been very popular. In fact, it was actually one of my more popular videos for the STI series, and I thought it's about time we revisited this because we are coming up to 6 months since that video, and what a 6 months. We've had reverse splits, we've had dilution, and the stock is starting to slowly come down. And a lot of people, in my opinion, seem to be mistaking it right now as being good value, because I don't think right now it is good value. There, I've said it. So if that's all you wanted from the video, I don't think it's good value, in my personal opinion. But of course, before coming to my thoughts, let's have a little look at the fundamentals. Rolls-Royce currently is a £8.4 billion market cap, which is around about 11.5 billion US dollars. Simply Wall Street thinks that it is 72% undervalued. Now, of course, they do not have a PE ratio or PEG ratio because it is not profitable, because you might have noticed that Miley Cyrus has literally closed the world for the last 2 years, and they are really piling up that debt. But their financial health, how does it look? Is it bad? Well, short term, they're covered, but long term, let's talk about it. Short term assets, they have 14.6 billion in assets with the 13.9 billion in liabilities. So a little bit of a tick there, they are covered short term. But when you go to long term, it's starting to get a bit worrying. Long-term assets are currently 14 billion with a liabilities of 20. That's quite a big deficit there, and it is quite worrisome because if we go down to the debt to equity, it's minus 111 at the recording of this video, which is definitely not a good sign. It gets worse as well because this used to pay a dividend, but there's no chance of that dividend coming back anytime soon, and by that I mean in the next 12 months in my opinion. Now, the biggest feature here is the insider buying and selling, but you're going to have to hold your horses. I'll come onto that in just a second because it's quite important we talk about it. Looking on the 5-year chart, and past performance is not an indication of future results, we can see that the peak 5 years ago was around about £3.70 a share, the 5-year high. And since then, it's slowly started falling. It hasn't actually looked that good. In fact, even before the Miley Cyrus even was a thing, it went from 370 all the way down to 220. Now, in percentage terms, that's a hell of a drop. Then, of course, we all know what happened, and this stock fell all the way down to 80p, and it wasn't down. It then had a sort of bit of recovery, and then it went all the way down to the 30s. Since then, we've shown some great signs of recovery, and we're currently riding around that 100p mark or the £1 mark. But is it a good buy? Well, if we go on the chart alone, and I don't think you should, if we go back to the pre-Miley Cyrus levels, we can see that there is a potential 130% upside move. But I genuinely can't see that happening because Rolls-Royce is really diluting their share count, which is obviously not really helping the chart at all. This company is really trying to keep above water. It is piling debt and it has big problems. And if the world doesn't reopen fully soon, it's going to be a serious problem for Rolls-Royce in the short term. If we look on tip ranks, there is 6 analysts talking about this one with a 12-month price target of 124p a share, which represents a 22% move in 12 months if all of these 6 analysts combined their future predictions again for 12 months. Out of these 6 analysts, 2 think it's a buy, 4 think it's a hold, and 0 people think it's a sell, which is actually quite a good sign, showing that they actually do feel Rolls-Royce might be undervalued. Now on paper, this looks like an absolute mess of a company. Why would you buy it? It's got long-term assets and liabilities issues, it's got debt, the world doesn't look like it's opening soon, so they can't turn over big levels. Why the hell should you even consider buying this company? I don't think they'll be able to repay their debt anytime soon. I mean, it's not a tech that has huge cash reserves. They're borrowing for survival rather than borrowing low interest rates to invest into a future project. This company is in a really bad state currently, but I do not think they are facing bankruptcy. In fact, I think they're way far away from bankruptcy. They could have easily went and borrowed money from banks with low interest rates, but instead they took the logical step of diluting their share price. I think it makes perfect sense to utilize what the stock market is, a way for companies to raise money for future projects, save themselves, and of course pay off debt, interest, blah, 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 blah. I think this is a very smart move, and it's actually something I really like in terms of a company. The big question you're all here for is, am I still bullish? I mean, I do hold the stock, and am I buying more? I'll be straight with you, I'm not buying any more at this price, but I will buy it lower. If Rolls-Royce gets down to like 75p, 80p, I'll probably pick up some shares. For me, the lower the better, and I really do think it's got a chance to get to that level. And I'm sorry if you're in it at the current price, but I do feel there is more downside. And if there isn't downside, I'm cool with that as well. I've got a really good entry, a decent position size, and I'm happy for this to moon anytime it wants. And on the moon, more in that in a second. But I do feel that Rolls-Royce right now is going to be in a very sideways territory, give or take 10-15%. The market is really shaky, and I think Rolls-Royce is going to be affected by it because really it doesn't have good cash flow revenues as it stands. The world really needs to start turning, travel needs to come back, and they need to start getting more contracts come in from people needing plane engines and all sorts of stuff like that. But I am still bullish in the long term. And by long term, I'm talking 5+ years, because to be honest, I'll probably hold this one for 20 years. And it is a company that I think will do very well in the long term because of a few things. Firstly, the insider buying and selling. You've got the CEO there, the head chairman, the top guy, Warren East, buying shares in June. If he thought the company was in a serious state, why would the CEO go out and buy some more shares? You've then got independent chairmen like Ian Davis, who's bought a load again in June as well. In fact, he's been buying for the last 12 months. He's been building up a big share size in Rolls-Royce, and there's many independent directors buying this stock as well. Why are the insiders buying this company with 0 people selling in the last 12 months? It is a very bullish sign, but I do think it's going to go lower. And if it does, I think that insider buying will only increase for every time the stock has a big down day. Now, the biggest reason why I am bullish on this company is, of course, space. If you don't know by now, I am a big space geek, and I think space will be the biggest industry the world/universe has ever seen in the next 20 to 50 years. Now, it might sound too long, but I think there is some good players that are fundamentally making money right now, so you don't have to risk into a low cap stock like RYCE, which is actually a SPAC, or into some startup, or like even Virgin Galactic stock. You can go into a company that is already established, got its people in place, got its employees, and has made money in the past. Rolls-Royce is one of them. They've signed an agreement with the UK Space Agency to talk about nuclear travel in space, nuclear propulsion and nuclear power in space, and they are investing heavily into it. In Rolls-Royce's own words on their website, they plan to power to leave, operate, and explore space with their nuclear power and other projects. And if you want more on Rolls-Royce in space, there's probably enough information to do a Rolls-Royce space video alone there. So if you want that, just comment down below Rolls-Royce in space as a comment. And if there's enough of them, I'll do that whole video itself, because this company, I genuinely feel, is going to be one of the biggest space companies out there in the next 20 years. Now, my final thoughts on Rolls-Royce is as follows. Short term, I think it's crazy if you're going to buy it and aim to sell it for 100% gain in 6 months, even a 10% gain or break even. It might not happen. I think it's a bit of a coin toss if you're looking less than a year on this one. If you're looking at 12 months plus, I think Rolls-Royce could be a good long-term hold. where you could actually double, triple, even 10x your money if it goes as well as it can do. As Rolls-Royce expands into space sectors, the world starts reopening, cash flows come back, and they start signing agreements with companies like SpaceX, I think this company could do very well in the future. But that's of course only my thoughts. I'm just a bloke with a beard. Let me know your opinion down in the comments. Of course, if you haven't done so already, smash that like button until it turns blue. If you want to support the work and you're watching this far, check out Patreon down in the description. There's actually a discount on there right now. Go and check that out. It's in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.